We should be live. Yeah, if you guys are, waiting on the stream, of course, it will be just me today. Corey is actually going to be at that Tampa Bay versus Buffalo game. Drove over the border, is going to be cheering on his Buccaneers. So we'll see what ends up happening. That's going to end up obviously being a good game between those two teams. But hopefully for Corey's sake, maybe Tampa Bay can win in front of him. Because every time I go to see a Cowboys game on the road or even in person at home, it hasn't gone my way. So hopefully Corey is able to fare better. We will go on to the start sit first. Again, I will see if I have some time to go through the team reviews at the end, but we will prioritize the start sits for now, obviously, because they pertain to week 11. So we do have a trade question here. Redraft 1 quarterback, 12 team start, 8 PPR league. The question is Dak Prescott plus Nico Collins in exchange for Lamar Jackson plus Tyler Warren. Do I perform this trade? Big boost at tight end and at quarterback. So I want to take a look at your team because ultimately here, when we look at the overall rankings, I'm assuming this is based on Corey's. Yeah, because he has Dak at quarterback 7. I don't know why it sorts by Corey's. I'm probably going to have to ask the devs. But regardless here, the way I kind of look at this, if I look at my rest of season rankings, boom, boom, boom. Overall, I have Dak at 66 overall, and I have Lamar Jackson at 33 overall. So that's a little bit of a difference. I do have the gap like a little bit closer. Lamar Jackson, of course, 24, 25 point per game projection at quarterback. Dak Prescott, probably about that 20 to 21 range. So if you're deep at wide receiver, like let me see if I can find your team here. Juice. Okay, so I'm assuming you're going to be trading away. I mean, this guy has Tyler Warren, so he's the number 1 team. Let's take a look at your team just for context here. So you have Puka, you have Nico Collins, you have Jalen Waddle. Obviously, Travis Kelce's at your onesie right now. You're basically asking, hey, listen, look, I have Nico. I got a little bit of depth at wide receiver. Should I make this move? To be honest, in a 12-team start 8, knowing how strong you are at wide receiver, I don't think I make this move because I do think Kelce and Dak are still going to be able to hold down your onesies. And ultimately, I think giving up a Nico Collins just leaves you too weak at wide receiver. Because then at that point, Jalen Waddle is going to be your 2, which is fine, I guess. Quentin Johnson, though, going to be your 3. Christian Watson going to be your 4. I personally like having Nico here, but yeah, that's just my thoughts. I would actually hold on this deal, but I don't think from a value perspective you'd be overpaying. Next comment here from Jorsa is another trade question. 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start 7. So keep in mind, start 7. Stud factor is going to matter even more. Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb for Justin Herbert, Devon Achane, and Rashee Rice. To be honest, when I'm looking at this, Jalen Hurts obviously over Justin Herbert. Achane versus Rice, even if you consider that a wash with Jacobs and Lamb, you have the better quarterback option. So I actually would hold here. I would keep the Jalen Hurts side because ultimately I view Jacobs plus CeeDee Lamb basically equivalent to Devon Achane and Rashee Rice. Jack, love the YouTube channel. Appreciate that, Jack. We got Dak at the quarterback position, him or Baker Mayfield. I do have Dak higher. Pass funnel Raiders defense, the highest over-under of the entire slate. Cowboys offense expected to, make that big bounce back. Obviously, we saw 2 weeks prior to the bye week. We go on a 2-week losing skid. They make that deal at the deadline. I think the offense is going to come out motivated after the bye. Running back here, obviously Rodriguez is already playing. You do have Achane in who what's he scoring right now? Like 10, 11 points or so. So yeah, obviously you're leaving CeeDee Lamb in. We'll just get to the flex option here. Tight end. Yeah, you're going Ferguson over Loveland. If we go to the flexes though, so obviously Wilson not playing, Pittman not playing because he's on bye week. It's Jerry Jeudy, Chris Rodriguez. Obviously we couldn't get to prior to the start of the game. Or Colson Loveland. Well, it looks like the only 2 that you can actually put in right now are going to be Jeudy and Loveland. So I'm going to put those 2 guys in. Again, apologies for not being able to answer this before the game, but yeah, let me hopefully that's able to help you out. Sorry. 8-2 like my team, not confident in QJ. Thinking about upside of AJB. Second place team has Gibbs, send him Monty for AJB. Would be thin out his wide receivers as well. Yeah, I prefer AJ Brown straight up to David Montgomery. Yeah, I don't have that like AJ Brown at 32 overall like Corey, but I do have him significantly higher than David Montgomery. So at 8-2, you buy an underperforming AJ Brown. I like the upside call here. I think that's totally makes sense. And all on top of that, too, you're limiting the upside of the second place team. You're sending him his own handcuff. Basically, you're just giving him insurance because unless he's starting Gibbs and Monty on a week-to-week basis, you're taking the upside of AJB off the second place team. So I like that call. Go out and get AJ Brown. I think that is set. By the way, too, once we answer through some start sits, I'll go through the YouTube comments. And then at the end, like I said, I'm going to be handling the reviews. Jamar Chase. So keep in mind, by the way, Dynasty 2 quarterback, 12 team start 9. So this is a Dynasty question. You would be giving up Jamar Chase in exchange for Tet, early second, and Zay Flowers. Like give me the Jamar Chase side all time, all day there. Sorry, not all time. Did I get here? Give me the Jamar Chase. Hopefully that helped. If it doesn't go through, Jordan, you can hear me right now on stream. Keep Jamar Chase for that cost. James Cook plus AJ Brown in exchange for Quinshon Judkins, Aaron Jones, and Emeka Egbuka. This is a redraft 1 quarterback, 10 team start 7. So the way we kind of slice it here, Egbuka versus AJ Brown, or Egbuka versus AJ Brown. Obviously, you're taking Egbuka, but what exactly gets us here? I mean, Egbuka plus Aaron Jones, I would say more or less equals James Cook. And I actually would prefer Quinshon Judkins to AJ Brown. So even though AJ Brown, again, listed at 32, for some reason, this is by Corey's rankings, I do have Judkins higher than AJ Brown in my own. So I'm going to go with that side. It's between Jones, Marks, and Judkins, who play Baltimore. I'm still starting Judkins with confidence. For those of you that are maybe asking, well, Judkins, obviously, he's been more of a raw carry back. They have a tougher matchup, especially in terms of game script. What should you do against Baltimore? To me, 24 opportunities last week is 24 opportunities. I'm still starting him with top 12 level confidence. And to be honest, I think he's shown so strong in that offense to the point where, I mean, we've seen 2 of his highest route share games in the last 3 games. So even if they do go down in this game, I feel like more than normal, Judkins is going to have a bigger receiving role. And actually, I talked about it. I'll talk about my picks at the end, but I just think if the Browns are going to be down in games, they're going to have to find reasons to get their stud running back on the field. And I think Judkins has a decent receiving skill set. I don't think he's a 0 in the passing game, even maybe if the usage hasn't been there quite yet. So with that being said, give me Judkins in this question. I would start him over Jones, start him over Marks, start him over Ken Walker. Obviously, BTJ got ruled inactive, so that's a big time news. And then Colson Lovin, of course, we're going Judkins there. Let me just confirm. Yep, looks like everything else in the lineup is set. Sweet fit here, 2026. DK is 13th in scoring as a receiver because return yards, 15 yards equals 1. I'm not giving up an early to mid first for Shamir DK. It could be a 5 point for being Jameer DK league. Well, I said DK, but give me the first. What is going on? Sorry, I have to take a second to get my bearings back because just seeing a 2026 first toss for Shamir DK just threw me for a loop. Genty, yeah, we get Tracy and Mason off the bench. Yep, that makes sense. Dowdle. Wide receiver here, it's Devontae Smith or Tedero McMillan's the question. I would be going with Devontae Smith, not Keon Coleman. Of course, he's not active. I'd be going with Devontae Smith. He's proven himself as the one in terms of usage these recent weeks. He's been playing extremely well, and especially since week 3, once we saw the Eagles passing game from a neutral passing game perspective really take flight. He's been a top 12 wide receiver in fantasy, 16.8 PPR points per game. So Devontae Smith, can't say enough. I think he's one of the biggest trade targets in fantasy, and we actually talked about him on this week's episode. So Josh Allen, yep, he's quarterback 1 on the week. Javonte, Etienne, Lamb. We're considering Pickens or Franklin, I guess is the question. I'm going with George Pickens all day there. Any comment? No, so you're just wondering Pickens or Franklin. I would definitely go with George Pickens. I do want to give Franklin his flowers, though, because I did, for the first time this week, actually put him above Courtland Sutton. In the last month, man, he's had 11 more targets. He's averaging over 4 PPR more points per game. I do think he's the number 1 in Denver at this time being. However, compared to Pickens, much worse matchup, much worse implied game environment. And with George Pickens, you're facing the pass funnel Raiders defense. I still think he's a top 12 option, even though you have Lamb. And it looks like, okay, perfect. Kyron or Aaron Jones, Woody in the flex, JT on bye. So I definitely would go with Kyron Williams. This is a high scoring game environment, first and foremost. Also, why can't I click? This is a high scoring game environment, 48.5 over under. It is a tough matchup. The Rams have been very good against the run, but you're banking on the implied total of the Seahawks. Offense has been playing so well. Kyron Williams, even though of the Seahawks, correction. of the Rams is a very tough matchup because the Seahawks front has been playing well as well. You spend 9 minutes solo and you already call Kyron Williams a Seattle Seahawks. So apologies for that. Very good game environment, like I said. And Kyron Williams, even though he's splitting carries, even though we have seen more quorum touches, still gets a lot of the consequential work in the offense. The goal line touches, the inside the 5 work, we have seen a lot of Kyron Williams. So I'm still starting him with top 12 level confidence. Although if Aaron Jones, I mean, it doesn't look like you have a flex, you're probably not going to get him to your lineup. And it looks like we are heavy stacking that Rams-Seattle game. Wow. Apologies for that, guys. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy. Let me take a look at my rankings. Also, Dolphins just made a play, it looks like. Okay, quarterback, Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy. Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy. I have Brock Purdy one spot higher, so give me Brock. Give me Brock Purdy all day. Okay. Let me go to the next comment there. Oh, okay, we got a little bit more. Comment on guy, Kareem Hunt, Omarion Hampton, Terry McLaurin, Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson's going to make my lineup this week. And Kareem Hunt with no Isaiah Pacheco also going to make my lineup this week. So hopefully that sets you up. Hopefully you're able to get the dub there. Appreciate the comment. Dylan, yeah, no, I like it's more so just Rodgers matchups primo, but I do have Purdy ranked higher because I do think 26 points implied for the San Francisco offense. They're going to have a good time this week. And yes, you pay this for CeeDee Lamb each and every time, Dar. If this deal is somehow still available, go and get CeeDee Lamb. All 10 teams start 7 all day. I don't even have to know the rest of the roster. CeeDee Lamb's too good. Judkins plus Genty in exchange for Benson plus Achane. 12 minutes start 9 worth upgrading to Achane. I still have Hendo and Brees. I'm in second place. Let me know. Apologies because Achane's game obviously just started. I will actually fire you over a voucher just because of that. It was what, Durf? Durf. Actually, I can do it on this tab now, can I? How am I able to? Mason said right click? No. If I click their name? I don't know. I'm going to do it at the side. I know Mason said you actually can send a voucher from this screen now, but I'm in the middle of the stream, so I can't figure it out. Durf Saunders. All right, we will send you. That was a trade question, I believe. Bang. Okay. With that being said there, if you are good from a depth perspective, I don't mind making that consolidation. Devon Achane has proven himself as a league winner, so if you can still make that move, let me check your depth just for insurance. Yeah, you have Brees Hall, you have Trevion Henderson. If this is your running back situation, you're this strong at wide receiver, go make this move, go win the championship, and Benson has upside when he comes back. I do really like that for you. Just click on the goose. Oh, okay. So if I click, okay, I get it now. Like here? Yeah. Okay. Dope. All right. Perfect. I'm still going with Nico Collins, but RJ Harvey's definitely on the up after the J.K. Dobbins news. Can't give Nico for him though. AJ Brown plus Saquon Barkley in exchange for Jalen Waddle and Chase Brown. Even before this game started, I definitely would have said the Saquon Barkley side. Genty in exchange for Henderson and Etienne. God, this is probably good process, but I'm starting to believe that Trevion Henderson's this year's league winner. I have Genty at 10 and I have Trevion Henderson at 12. So it just depends from a depth perspective. Like if you lose Etienne, like what's your situation here? Okay, so if you lose Etienne, you're kind of banking on yeah, this is probably too good of a deal to pass up in a 10-team start 7. Because then you make this move, you pick up an Alec Pierce. Yeah, I think you have to do this from a process perspective. But man, I do not want to be giving up Henderson right now. But if you're going to give him up, this is the type of deal to make. So I'll go with that side because you have depth and you can pick up an Alec Pierce, who Alec Pierce, as much as I do prefer ETN, he's not too far behind him, I would say. I'm assuming you're starting one or the other, Jerry Jeudy or DJ Moore. Let me get the reports for DJ Moore in terms of practice status. Let me take a look. DJ Moore, shoulder injury, not expected to miss time. Okay, he's off the injury report, and he did practice Thursday, Friday. Okay. Probably go DJ Moore there. Like I probably would, but they're both upside shots. They're both lottery tickets. They both have volatile floors. Okay, I clicked next question. Okay. Failed to update question status for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure. But you heard me, Nazarian. You heard me. I would go with more. Flex a bit of an issue. What do you think, Lord? Appreciate you, Gunner. Danny Dimes obviously on bye, so you're going Caleb Williams, running backs, receivers. We got Woody in the flex right now, and that's actually how I would go. Xavier Worthy, more of a top 40-ish level play. I would say the next closest here, again, 14 teams start 7 for what it's worth. In that format, that's actually a strong team. Parker Washington would be in semi-consideration. No Brian Thomas Jr. today, and we've seen his rapport with Trevor Lawrence. To me, though, you get Woody Marks against the Titans after a big workload bump. I think that's the direction you have to go. Okay, so I'm going to have to restart then. Okay. Okay, I think I'm good now. All right, I think we are good now. And Woody Marks is the click. Colorado Frost here. Quarterbacks undecided. Justin Herbert or Baker Mayfield. I should have Herbert higher, but let me take a look. Quarterback. Yeah, we do prefer Justin Herbert against the Jags this week. Vidal, probably the direction I go. We'll take a look in terms of if ETN makes it in a second. And it's ETN versus Higgins, actually. So I would go with Higgins. Does ETN make it over any of these running backs? Vidal or let me take a look. Vidal. I think I would leave it as is. I have ETN at RB23 this week, and I do have Rashad White and Kamani Vidal both above him. So that's the direction I would lean. Dope. Let me make sure I clicked it. Okay, I think I did. If I didn't, though, Colorado Frost, you heard me in here. I would go with Mr. T. Higgins. Caleb Williams, Trevion Henderson, Bijan Robinson, Roma Dunze, Drake London. What a squad. In terms of the flex, Tajay, Woody Marks, Tetaroa, AJ Brown. Ooh, I think I'll lean in AJ Brown here. Knowing how strong the floors are of the guys in this lineup, although you do have the ceiling that Trevion Henderson gave you with the 32 bomb, I just have AJ Brown ranked the highest. Like if you wanted to play it safe, maybe you go with a Swift, maybe you go with the Marks just to get touches. But to me, I think the upside of AJ Brown's too much to pass here. So that's how I would lean, brother. And let me do a quick refresh. If we don't have a refresh, okay, perfectly. We have the both of the ones left being team reviews. So let's go to the top here. Emmett Johnson is him, Danny, for Dynasty Rookie Drafts. Yeah, I'll take a look. Let me see what the box score is looking like. I know what's his face was going off. Andrew Marsh. I was watching the Michigan game. Yeah, Emmett Johnson, he's a junior, 5'11", 200. First year of significant production. I'll see what the draft capital is for sure, but he's got a nice little receiving profile as well. Could be like this year's Caleb Johnson in terms of being steamed up, like a second, third round pick. But again, maybe they fall because the running back class is a little weaker. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, I mentioned 2028. First round pick, lock it in stone, jotted in pen. Andrew Marsh is an absolute monster. Michigan wide receiver. He did not really play much for like the first 6-7 games of the year, but like once he got a full opportunity to start, man, he has been clear cut the engine of our offense. Obviously, in that time frame, Justice Haynes got hurt yesterday. Actually, we lost Jordan Marshall as well. He got hurt with a shoulder injury. But man, Andrew Marsh is just such a polished receiver for being a true freshman, man. Going to be exciting to see his development. DK Metcalf or Jameson Williams? I have a DK higher just because of how good of a matchup it is. But man, Jameson Williams just playing better at this point. I would go DK because, like I said, Cincy not a great matchup, or not a great matchup. A great matchup for DK Metcalf, whereas for Jameson Williams, Philly is not. Who the Bucks playing again? They are playing the Buffalo Bills. Danny, what's up, Pete? Devontae Adams or Chase Brown at flex, half PPR. Devontae Adams or Chase Brown. I would go with Devontae Adams there, Prism. Washington or Franklin. I would go with Parker Washington, assuming that's a full PPR, and a half. Maybe I'll lean towards Troy Franklin. Adams Prism, yes, sir. I thought only Bijan got. How confident are we in Drake London? Should I start T. Higgins with the injury illness? I think you got to roll with Drake London because he's just been too dominant when on the field. Obviously, there is risk, but I mean, he's just such a stud. Also, why am I watching a CD Lamb Old Spice commercial? What's going on? What's up, Dylan? Guys, I need help. Do I start McMillan, Gaston, or ETN? Assuming that's a Rondé Gadsden. I think I'm going to go with Gadsden there. I think I'm going to go with Mr. Rondé. Y'all get the best pregame live because y'all interact with chat so much. Appreciate that, Dylan. Appreciate that. Should I put RJ Harvey or JMO into the flex? I think you got to go with RJ Harvey at home this week. I can only start 2. Harvey, QJ, Browns running back, or Juwan Jennings. Oh, sorry. Got a little bit of chest burn. I would go with the 2 running backs here. So give me Harvey and Judkins. JMO or QJ. I would go with QJ there, Johnny. I have one core question. So tough. Need to half PPR or half tight end full PPR. Mark Goddard, Kelsey, Judkins, White start 2. No idea what to do. Judkins going to be in my lineup. And let's see which tight end I have ranked higher. It could be them or Rashad, though. Okay, so let me see the matchups. Kelsey against Denver. Goddard against the Detroit Lions. I think I would go Kelsey if that's a half tight end premium, knowing the volume he gets. Also, is Mr. Devon about to score? Devon Achane? He got stuffed at the goal line. That's why you bring in a big back. I'm joking. It's such a troll, though. Anytime a small back doesn't score, you hear that's why you got to play the big back on the goal line. Knicks, Williams, or Love. I think I have Williams ranked highest. Let me take a look. Yeah, give me Caleb Williams this week. Give me Caleb. Next, Caleb or Rogers. Give me Caleb there, Frosty. Half PPR, got to pick 2. Woody Marks, RJ Harvey, or Quinton Judkins. Going with the latter 2 there, Harvey and Judkins. Respect there, by the way, Pete. Respect. Could have had 18.4 there. Could have had 18.4. I mean, he's probably at more now, but sad that he got stuffed. I'd go Judkins and White, I would say. Yeah, Judkins. For the half head and premium, I think I'd go Kelsey over White, but that's a close one. Harvey, Higgins, or Judkins. Give me Higgins and Judkins there, Lewis. Love the channel. Appreciate that, Brandon. Appreciate that, brother. Tracy, Jacoby Myers, or Michael Wilson. Pick 1. I think I go with Michael Wilson there with no Marvin Harrison Jr. there, Colin. Vidal, Marks, or Rashad White. Give me Rashad White there, Roner. Did you see that I had an argument on Twitter because it got I didn't see that, but I don't like so okay, let me say this. I like Casey Concepcion, but he is not remotely sniffing Mekhi Lemon. That's as good as I can put it. I can see Concepcion make it into the back end of the first round. I think, back into the first, early second round. Mekhi Lemon, to me, is a top 10 talent in his class. Mekhi Lemon is arguably the wide receiver 1. We have Devon Achane, by the way, limping off the field. Is he okay? He's kind of grimacing. That's not the kind of look you want to see on his face. Hopefully the guy that had the Devon Achane trade hasn't made the trade yet, because we do want to see what happened there. We do want to see what happened. PPR League, super close match projected. Trevor Lawrence or Wan'Dale Robinson for upside Superflex League. I go with Trevor Lawrence there, Joe. Tracy, Jacoby Myers, make sure you ask your question once, Colin. That's your warning. Harvey or Dubs at the flex. I think I go with RJ Harvey there, Tate. And also, we got the big back in on 4th and goal. There's no way. I'm so sorry to anybody who has the ball H. I kind of wish that to existence. They actually brought in the big back on 4th and goal. I'm fucking crying. Are they going to score here? Oh my God, he got stopped. Yeah, bring in the big back to lose 2 yards. Let's go. Dan Quinn is pumped. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, sorry. Caleb, Bo, or Rogers. I would go with Caleb Williams there. Frosty, Swift, Odunze, Wan'Dale, Marks, or Higgins can only start 2. I would go with Odunze and T. Higgins there. Barack. Full PPR, 2 of 3. Sutton, Watson, and Pearsall. Give me Sutton and Pearsall there, but I do have Watson relatively close to them. Benson or Hampton rest of the season. Give me Hampton there, Pete. Better question is Davis Mills over T-Law, and would you still play Wando over either of those guys? Let me take a look. I actually haven't given Davis Mills much thought, but yeah, let me see. I had Stroud at 22, so I'm gonna have to obviously take him out. And was Stroud even above Trevor Lawrence? No, I had Trevor Lawrence above both. So I would have Trevor Lawrence in the lineup. I would have Mr. Trevor Lawrence, but let me move Davis Mills up because that's one bit of news that I did not actually adjust in my rankings. Okay. Davis Mills, though, fringe top 24 level option. If you're playing a super flex league, he's viable. For those of you out there. Also, Debo's. Oh, no. Bush is playing Debo Samuel. He just caught another pass. Oh, no. Oh, no. Harvey, Higgins, or Quinshawn, full PPR. Go Quinshawn there, Lewis. Again, ask the question once, Colin. I'm putting you on a little timeout. You got to think about it next time. A little timeout. I like Harvey. Don't get me wrong. He's like a top 15-ish level running back, but I just think there are a little bit of question marks because, I mean, is Jaleel McLaughlin going to get involvement? Is, Tyler Beatty going to get involvement? Like, to me, the Denver's just not a trustworthy situation. I do have them at RB 17 this week, for those of you wondering. I can't get him over some of these other names. I can't, knowing that risk. Davis Mills over T-Law, DK for a first. Yeah, Joe, that's disgusting. Tez or Tedero McMillan and Vidal Monty or Algier, please. Waddle selling me. I would go with Tedero McMillan, but Tez is in that tier, and I would go with Vidal over those other two running backs. So good luck there. Henderson or Jetta straight up. Hear me out. If he has like 2 games once Ramondre comes back where he's maybe not at this level, but let's just say he's at 80% of this level, he's like an 18 points per game scorer, this is actually a legitimate conversation because his schedule is fucking juicy. Now, obviously, you can't say that right now because there's still the threat of Ramondre Stevenson. We don't know what that workload's going to be. So obviously, you take Jefferson. But if we do get a sample size of like, oh shit, Ramondre's back and Trevion Henderson is still going beast mode, that's a conversation, man. And people don't want to acknowledge it. I actually have both of them on my Flock League team. Yeah, Frosty, ask your question once, please. I will put you on a little bit of a timeout. We finished stretch the field too. Bernie's. Yeah, dude, I had the higher on Ricky Pearsall's targets, which, by the way, I'll talk about those after this. Efrain says flex full PPR, Dunze, Pearsall, or Harvey. Dunze, Pearsall, or Harvey. I would go with the Dunze there, Efrain. And let me just give it a quick refresh on the site just to see. Okay, we got a couple start sets. Apologies for Obtainable and Tim. I just did the refresh now. We will get to your comments right now. Quarterback set with Josh Allen, running back, receiver. So we're looking at basically the flexes here. I'll take a double check on the quarterback and tight end just to make sure, but looks like those are stud options that you want to put in. I think we got to go with Tyrone McMillan with one of these, and I think the other one actually is going to be RJ Harvey. So we'd go with those two. Hopefully that sets you up. Again, making sure I didn't overlook anybody. No. Quarterback, obviously, you're not going with anybody over Josh Allen. Tight end, yeah, you're going with Jay Ferguson over Loveland. So perfect. Hopefully we're able to set you up there, Obtainable. PPR in a 0.5 per carry. So we're going to specifically remember that 0.5 per carry when it comes to at the flex spot here. Judkins going in all day. Harvey going in all day. ETN's going to have to be considered because of that bonus. Rashid Rice, Igbuka. I know what this question is going to come down to. Oh, my God. What? Sorry. What? That was a fucking... What? Sorry. I just scroll the tight end. I just see fucking Bowers, McBride, and Gadsden. Oh my gosh. Never mind ETN in the flex. That's not happening over Trey McBride. What the hell? That tight end room is crazy, dude. Can you trade one of them? Oh my God. Sorry. That just threw me off. I'm like, wait. You're going to have to bench Rondé Gaston. We got to trade him, brother. What are we talking about? Dude, even if you have to attach Gaston to like a flex player, like, dude, that's insane. That's insane. Let's go back to where we left off. Sorry, that threw me off. Lewis, sorry, we're going to have to put you on timeout as well. For those of you watching, please ask your question once. I'm a solo. I got 2 screens pulled up right now. I'm going as fast as I can. I can tell you for free. Ask me your question 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes I've seen up to 10 to 15 times in chat. It's not going to speed the process, and all it's going to do is going to get you a 5-minute timeout. Don't do it. Also, is Chris Moore dead? What is going on? Okay, he was just laying down for a second. Click on profile pic, respect. The goose. Washington, Lockett, or Aaron Jones. I would go with Aaron Jones there, Kyron. Tracy or Algier, I have Bijan. I would go with Tracy there if you have Bijan. You got to play the upside hottie. Apologies for the wait, by the way. I did do the paid questions right after. Yeah, also, Joe, make sure you ask it once as well. Thanks for the reply, Danny. Fortunately, the guy backed out anyways. That worked out now. Judkins and QJ for Bucky. I have Judkins straight up over Bucky, so I would not do that. Boys need to flex Harvey, Tet, or Jawan Jennings. Give me Harvey there, Dylan. That's why I'm not trying to trade Henderson. I know what you mean, dude. Like it's getting there. Where's Bush? Bush is actually at the Buccaneers-Bills game. Shout out B-Mac. Half PPR, RJ Harvey or Jaylen Warren. I think I got Warren a little bit higher just because of the matchup against Cincinnati. I think you have to. I mean, Warren's just such a smash this week. Odunze or Harvey, very close. Wide receiver 16 versus RB 17. Half PPR, I'd go with Harvey. Full PPR, I'd go with Odunze there, Breeze. Should I start Jaden Higgins or DJ Moore? I think I linked DJ Moore, but I don't know. We got some very good, very positive comments this week from D'Amico Ryans as it pertains to the rookie play time. So we'll see how the usage kind of looks this week. But with that being said, I think I go DJ Moore. Jalen Waddle's fucking lost. What's he doing? I won't complain because Mason has him, but he just dropped a wide open first down to set them up for a field goal. What? Are you on Jupiter, Jalen? I know it's behind you, but like, what are we fucking doing? Tezzer, Parker, Washington boys, quick, about to take a long drive. Apologies. Hopefully you're still listening. I would go with Parker, or no, I would go with Tez. Sorry. I pump faked you for a second. I'd go with Tez. Appreciate you, twin. Got you, Breeze. Warren is definitely the safe bet. QJ Sutton. Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's the good way to put it, by the way. Sorry, I'm trying to go through this. Buck's supposed to rain and BTJ's out leading towards. Danny, you trade Judkins and QJ? No, I would not there, Justice. Need a flex PPR, Harvey, McMillan, or Jennings? I would go with Harvey there. I know Chiefs are tough, but I'm thinking Harvey. Yeah, that's a dog. No, I've heard of Nate Shepard. Judkins, Marks, White, Kelsey. I already answered that, Dylan. I already answered that. I would go with Judkins and Kelsey. Guys, please help. Do I start Rico Dowd or James Cook? I'll go with James there. Give me James Cook. Should I start to consolidate and start 7? I have Achane, Judkins, Hampton, Benson. Feel like I need to consolidate. I mean, like any type of hammer you can get. Maybe if you have to throw in a Judkins plus. Honestly, I'd go with like a Judkins plus a Nico or a Judkins plus a Zay. See if you can go up there and get like a legitimate top tier type of back. I love Judkins, don't get me wrong, but if you can use him, or I mean, heck, even on a lower scale, if you can use him or Hampton or Benson plus one of those receivers, and you can go get a legitimate stud running back next to them, I wouldn't mind doing that either. Give me Parker Washington there, Jesse in a full PPR. Shakir, Jennings, or Ted in my flex. Give me Ted or McMillan. Any time there. You can pivot Zay Hampton. He's at 16. Yes, sir. Mayfield or Purdy. I think I have Mayfield a little bit higher, but like that's close. That's close, yeah. They're both same tier, 10 through 16. I have Baker at the top of the tier, but I can see Purdy having a great game coming off the injury. Knight, Spears, Algier, Tucker. I would go in a full PPR actually with Tajay Spears. I'll talk about that, the rationale for that in a second. Actually, he's in my pick entry. Purdy, Rodgers, Knicks, or JJ McCarthy. I would go with. Honestly, actually, I'm going to make this adjustment. I had Knicks ranked above Purdy, but I'm going to move Purdy above Knicks. So I moved Purdy to a quarterback 14, for those of you wondering. Sutton and Rome for Bucky and DK. No, sir, I would not. Give me Sutton and Bucky. Or give me Sutton and Rome, sorry. Going to OT. Hopefully no Waddle. Thanks for answering my question. Cries and Devon Achane. Oh, man. I'm actually so happy I had Hendo and my opponent had Achane, Puka, CMC. Jesus. Jeez. Judkins, Rome, Higgins, or AJ Brown for flex can start 1. Wow. Go Judkins. Ooh. Judkins, Rome Higgins. That's so close. Yeah, go Judkins. There's so much volume, dude. So much volume. Ah, let me see. Judkins, fucking Romer Higgins. This is so. I go Judkins. Go Judkins. Why run on fourth down? Yeah, facts. Why is my shit's glitching? Okay. Steph Curry's top 5 player of all time. I don't think that's outrageous to say. Like he's probably 5 or 6 in my own rankings. I don't think that's irrational. I don't think that's irrational at all. Great effort holding the fort in Dynasty. I appreciate that, by the way. In Dynasty, what sort of price should you be looking to aim to sell Henderson? I honestly would need, at this point, top 5 running back in Dynasty price tags in order to even consider moving Henderson. And to be honest, we could be talking about him in that top tier with, I mean, realistically, 8chan, guy like that. Like, why wouldn't we? He's a rookie, and he's already showing this type of upside to be a legitimate, high-end 20-plus point per game RB1. Not kicking there, sure is something. Yeah, facts. So one, Judkins, ETN, or Harvey sitting ETN. Elizabeth says full PPR flex, Wandale, Rashad, or Swift. Start JJ or Baker. I would go with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, and I would go with Rashad White in the flex. Buffalo, KC, Dallas, Cleveland, or Chicago defense. I think I go Dallas here. Easiest matchup, Raiders 31st in DVOA as an offense. And the Cowboys are sneakily getting some reinforcements back on defense. Obviously, they make the trade, get Quinnen Williams. Their top 2 edge rushers actually been playing extremely well. I would say their 2 best players on defense, even despite the bad period, was Donovan Ezeraku and Jadeveon Clowney. So you get those 2 edge rushers, you plug in Quinnen Williams, you're getting DeMarvion Overshown back from IR, potentially even Siobhan Ravel, who's the 3rd round corner, a guy that was supposed to go in the 1st round of the NFL draft, but slipped because he missed the 2024 season with an ACL injury. Cowboys scoop him in the 3rd round. Again, a guy that was projected, top 20, top 30 overall player. So we'll see what he looks like, man. We can have we need any help that we can get. And to be honest, I think we're going to get some positive regression from the Cowboys defense out of the bye. Kale Coleman, healthy scratch. Yeah, man, he missed a team meeting. Kind of crazy. Funny, I also trade for Jefferson, giving up Henderson and Pierce. Yeah, I mean, for that price, I still would do it. It's Jefferson, but again, I just think Henderson within 2 weeks from now could very well be on that level. The tight end room, yeah, dude, the tight end room was crazy, bro. Did they make the field goal? No, it's overtime. Sorry, I zoned out. Missed it. Troy Franklin or Xavier Worthy. I would go with Franklin there. Smurfinho. Wandale Worthy. Apologies, by the way. I skipped by this mentally. Go with Wandale Robinson there, Tyler. Give me Gasson in the flex there, coiled. ETN or Marks. Give me Marks. Waddle sucks. By the way, thoughts and prayers for Chris Boyd. If you guys didn't see in Manhattan, he actually he's in critical condition after getting shot. So thoughts and prayers, man. That is that's horrific, honestly. That's horrific. Full PPR, pick 2, Barkley, Chase Brown, or Aaron Jones. Barkley and Chase Brown is probably where I go. I do like Aaron Jones, but I have to play Chase Brown over him. Swift or Marks, half PPR. Take a look. Swift or Marks. I would go with Marks against Tennessee. Trade for Gibbs, Pearsall, Tez, or Igbuka, Breesall, and Ken Walker. Good trade or not amazing. So you're trading away Gibbs, Pearsall, and Tez. You're getting back Igbuka. I want the Gibbs side here, Sim. Definitely give me the Gibbs side. Absolute highest you'd give up for Hendo if your RB2's David Montgomery. I would legitimately be willing to give up top 15 level running back price tag. So, I mean, what does that involve? Like if you basically whatever you could do or whatever you would have to pay to get Derrick Henry, I'd be willing to pay to get Travion Henderson right now. So that might sound crazy to a lot of people. I think Travion Henderson is on a one-way ticket towards league winner status. So yeah, you won't find anybody on the site, by the way, nearly as high on Henderson as me. Like the highest you'll get is like people are like, oh yeah, I'm so aggressive. I have Henderson RB16 or RB17 rest of the season. And that's probably, a better appropriate take. But dude, this guy scored 20 plus points in his first 2 like real legitimate opportunities to start. and everything that we're seeing in terms of the trusted opportunities, the goal line opportunities inside the 5, on the 1 yard line. He was getting all of those, man. I can't ignore that. If he's already getting like significant usage and he's looking that good, by the way, people are going to say, well, he only averaged 3 yards per carry. He had 70 rushing yards after contact and 62 total rushing yards on the day. New England's defense or New England's offensive line was just getting dismantled by the Jets front, and yet Trevion Henderson was consistently able to make plays. So I can't say it enough, man. I'm so optimistic about this kid. A little bit of a tangent, but I have to glaze my guy. DeMarcado, Algier, or Tucker. I would go with Amari out of these options, I think. Yeah. Wandale or Tucker, half PPR. Give me Wandale there, Dave. Rate my parlay, Pittsburgh, Rams, Lions plus 3.5. I actually like that. I picked both the Rams and the Lions one. The Pittsburgh one scared me because the last time they played Cincinnati, I took them as my survivor pick on that Thursday night game, and they just so happened to let me down. So that's the only worry I have. But I do think that's a good parlay overall. I think it's good process taking Pittsburgh. What are the odds that this Bengals team is able to sweep them? I think they're comparable teams. So you're getting the home field advantage with Pittsburgh. I'm just scarred from last time. That meaningless 22-yard pass to H.M. was a blessing from Tua. Yeah, facts. Start Jacoby or Knicks today. I would go with Knicks there, Sebi. Rams Seahawks game. Yeah, dude, it's going to be a fucking movie. Would you trade Henderson and Purdy for Bowers in a full PPR? I would. I love Henderson again, but I mean, Brock Bowers is Brock Bowers as well. Brock Bowers was Trevion Henderson last year, pretty much. So, yeah. Also, apologies again. I don't get the notifications because unfortunately there is only one of us. But RJ Harvey plus Trevion Henderson for Ashton Genty, I would not give that up. I would have Harvey above ETN actually. I think. I'm convincing myself not to take this deal. Wow. I'm convincing myself not to take this deal. I said I would do it for ETN earlier, and the more I talked about Trevion Henderson, the more I'm like, I don't want to trade this guy away. I'm sorry, Jay Dollar$, you're watching this right now, and it's probably very conflicting because I gave you a different news last time we talked. I can't give up Trevion Henderson. I know this could be looking back in 2 weeks from now and saying, holy fuck, now Ramondre's back and he's siphoning touches, and how did you trade away Henderson? I think there's about a 50-50 that Henderson and Genty outscore each other the rest of the season. Like, that's where I'm actually getting to. So apologies again for submitting the Genty side last time you asked this. I just talked myself into Henderson. I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry. Holy crap. Wow. I did not think I would get to this point, but I did. Bo Nix or Caleb Williams, full PPR, 6-point passing touchdowns. I would go with Caleb there, Tommy. Jennings or Sutton. I would go with Jennings there, Fries. Full PPR, need one flex. Jennings, Woody, Marks, Tetaroa, Judkins. Give me Judkins there. Add Goff. Would you still go with Purdy? I would go with Purdy, yes. PPR, need one flex. Shoddy, Tez, and Ricky P. I'd go with Rashad White. Holy shit, GG. Yeah, no, that was tough. No way Tua could fumble this. What's your opinion on Henderson, Stevenson carries? I genuinely think it's Henderson's job to lose at this point. I understand a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's bad process. Last time Stevenson was healthy, he actually played above Henderson. You don't let the cat out of the bag and immediately flip it back after the injury. Henderson has brought such an element to this offense that Ramondre simply can't bring. The explosive run. And if he's going to run hard, if he's going to run people for an extra couple yards on, those inside the 5 carries, like, what is stopping him from being a full-fledged bell cow? And this might be reactionary. This might be, oh, you're in the moment, Danny. You're reacting to information too much. Like, you just got to take a bite. I understand that. There could be a voice of reason here. But I don't think there is. I think Trevion Henderson's going to keep doing this because Trevion Henderson's schedule is elite rest of the season. Trevion Henderson is demonstrably better than Ramondre Stevenson. And there's no reason at this point to take him off the field. Like, I don't know, man. I understand this against the grain. I understand a lot of people are going to be like, process. Trevion Henderson breaks your fucking process. I'm sorry. Sorry, that was a little bit of a vent. Apologies if you guys don't have Henderson or if you're just hearing me snap and talk about him. What's your rest of the season? He's my RB12 rest of the season, Trevion Henderson. This is my RB12. I need Ladd to have 25 plus points. Jags slot. Yeah, so exactly, right? Jordan Lewis is the slot corner for the Jags. I understand when Corey did his matchups that matter. He talked about the stat of the Jags slot corners being too strong this year. The context he did forget, though, is that's because of Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis is one of the best slot corners in the league. He's out for this game. And I do still think Ladd McConkey could snap in that spot. Franklin or Parker, Washington, full PPR. Give me Parker there, Big Poppy. Ladd and Smitty on my bench permanently. What running backs can I target? Because right now Judkins and Henderson's a good spot, but if you wanted to take one of those wide receivers and tier up, I don't mind doing that. I agree, Jelly Boy. Like, he's going to make mistakes, but you've seen him grow from those mistakes. You've seen him take what the defense is giving. Like, let's be honest. Everybody watching that game, the box score watchers are going to point to, 3.1 yards per carry. But like I mentioned earlier, he had more yards after contact than he did overall yards. He was creating for himself. He was putting the shoulder down, finishing runs. He was getting goal line carries. Like, I think we've seen everything we needed to see. Like, why can't he be this year's Jahmyr Gibbs? Genuinely, why can't he be? Sorry, a little bit of a vent, but I feel good about getting Roman Henderson for Henry a couple weeks ago. Woody or Harvey, PPR, give me RJ Harvey there. Trade May for Dart, Hendo, and see, May's my Dynasty 101. So as much as I love Henderson, I'm not moving Drake May for pretty much anything. Like, genuinely, I would need an arm and a leg. I would need your firstborn. I would need naming rights to all of your family members. Like, it would be significant. ETN, Tet, Myers, and a full PPR flex. I go with ETN or Tet. Give me McMillan in a PPR. Survival League ended week 4 with 5 of us picking Green. Oh, that's paid 50 cal. Yeah, Arthur, you're not wrong, man. But like, I can't get over how good he is. I can't get over it. Rodgers or Brissett, give me Rodgers. Full PPR, Barkley, Chase Brown, or Aaron Jones. Give me the first 2, Victor. Williams or Flacco, give me Williams. I traded Devontae, Pearson, Sharp for McBride and Dynasty. And the commission, yeah, your commission is a little bit of a piece of shit for vetoing. Caleb or Purdy, give me Caleb. Does Stevenson get goal line stuff? I mean, that's the question that we have to answer. Like, that's the reason why the entire fantasy community wants to shun this elite rookie running back that's been absolutely excellent. Well, Ramondre's going to come back and steal his shit. What if he doesn't? What if Ramondre comes back and he's fucking warming the bench? Like, people aren't baking that enough in. And I understand maybe I'm not baking it enough in that Ramondre does come back. Ramondre takes, 30% or more of the work. Like, that is a possibility, but people just acting like it's totally impossible for Trevion Henderson's usage to not be that before Ramondre get hurt are just lacking reality, man. Like, why in their mother, after watching Henderson do what he's done, would they revert back to the old work share? Like, I don't get it. And yeah, we got to assume rational coaching for my take, obviously. Anytime there, Seahawks. A little bit of a rant, but that's what we're here for with the fantasy rant exchange at this point. We're setting a late second for Kamara and a fourth. I mean, it's decent. If you're a contending team, I don't mind this from a depth perspective. Probably about his value if you want him. We have overcome injury. Yeah, no, definitely fair, Arthur. I won't fight you on that. Dubs or Addison this week. I would slightly lean Romeo Dobbs. Also, Dobbs. Not Dubs, Dobbs. Danny, Romer Judkins at the flex. Give me Judkins there. Half PPR, Addison or Robinson. Give me Jordan Addison. Auden or Andrews at tight end with Warren on bye. Let me take a look. Auden or Andrews. I go with Auden. Also, I realized I was on my redraft and not my weekly. I will adjust Auden over there after I was thinking about it, though. Okay, he was still higher than Andrews. We're good. He's going to go... Actually, tight end 17 feels fair for him. I do have him in a range with a bunch of guys. Vidal, Harvey. Give me Harvey there, Zach. You guys hiring? Not at the moment, but if we ever are, we'll probably mention on the show. I agree, Roner. I completely agree. Baker, Goff, or Brissett this week. Give me Baker. Dawson or Dalton Schultz. Where do I have Dawson Knox, by the way, after the injury? Dawson Knox. I have Dawson Knox higher, so I'd go with Dawson Knox. Romer Lad half PPR. Give me Lad McConkey. Tracy or DeMercado. Give me. Let me see. Tracy DeMercado. I have Tracy a little bit higher. Do I start Flacco since I'm playing T and Jamar? Stick with Lamar? I mean, you have to play Lamar Jackson. And then in terms of the second question, I'd go with the two running backs there, Luke. Apologies, Luke. Who to flex PPR? RJ Rashad with Ricky P. I'd go with Rashad White. AJB or Judkins. Give me Judkins there, Janelle. People forget if Ramondre comes back and fumbles again, he's done. Yeah, that could very well be the case too. Would Henderson and plus Smitty for James Cook or Judkins plus Smitty for Cook be good then, you think? See, in your spot, I don't mind making a move like that because you mentioned you have a lot of depth and you mentioned depth is easy to attain. In your spot specifically, I don't mind making that upgrade, but obviously I love both those running backs. McMillan or Tucker and a half PPR, I would go with McMillan. Ridley or Golden, give me Ridley. Golden's still banged up. Collins or Igbuka, I would go with Igbuka, Frosty. Yeah, only ask your questions. Question one's cool. Yeah, no, we're not doing this spam shit. Sorry, bud. Good luck to you as well, Seahawks. Trade Burrow and Ladd for May and McLaurin. I would go with Burrow and Ladd here, unless that's a dynasty. Is that in dynasty? I would take May over that side in dynasty, honestly. Half PPR, JMO or Pickens. Give me Pickens. Franklin or Tucker. Give me Franklin. Woody or Jameson. I will go with Woody. AJB or Judkins. We already answered that, Janelle. I will go with Judkins. Got a tough one. Vidal, White, or ETN. I would go with Rashad White. Baker still started even cold and windy weather. I mean, he's like a top 12 to 15 type of guy. He's probably going to be in that mid range of that tier. I don't think he's like a terrible start, but I also would prefer other options. I have him at 12 this week. Who to flex full PPR? I think I already answered this. Did I? Oh, you're lucky. I can't find it. I would go with Rashad White. If I see it one more time, though, sorry. You are getting the ban. QJ or Franklin today, I would go with QJ. Who to start in my second? Bryce Young or Jameis Winston? I think I go with Jameis Winston there, Joe, to be honest. And in fact, I think I'm going to check my rankings as well. Yeah, I have Jameis Winston ranked higher. Mahomes plus Kamara for Javonte, good trade with my running back room. Yeah, if you have Caleb as a backup quarterback, I don't mind making that move. I think that's really fair. Harvey or Judkins or White, full PPR. Give me Judkins there. Flacco or Rodgers. Give me Rodgers. Vidal, Woody, or Harvey. Give me Vidal there. Oh, no, Harvey's in that. Give me Harvey. I've been swapping back and forth between Dak and Herbert all season with some success. I have Dak one spot higher, but they are literally 6 and 7. Which defense better start? Lions versus Eagles. Thanks. I think you got to take the team at home there, so you got to go with the Eagles. Romer Rico. I would go with Rico Dowdle there. Bucky or Woody, full PPR. I mean, Bucky's not playing, so I'd go with Woody. But we are caught up in terms of the YouTube comments. I will go quickly check the site, make sure. And honestly, we have 7 minutes till 1. I'll probably wait till tomorrow to touch these team reviews, and I will actually send you guys free trade vouchers for your patience. Apologies for that. I don't want to give you guys like 3-minute reviews. I want to give you guys like proper reviews on this. So let me just send you vouchers. Again, apologies for not being able to talk about it now. AX. I mean, actually, I could do it here. So I will send you a start set. And I will send you a start set. Okay, perfect. We should be caught up now. Probably end this a couple minutes early so that way I can set my own lineup. And of course, actually, before I do that, first and foremost, I am going to go through my picks of the week. So let me just put those in the background. Boom, boom, boom. We actually talked about them on TikTok, on Instagram, and uploaded them to the shorts earlier this morning. So if I go here, graphics, TikTok graphics, Sunday TikToks, boom. Open that one and open this one as well. Okay, I added the same one by accident. You tell my picks. Perfect. Okay. First one here, Bijan Robinson higher than 74.5 rushing yards. He had 72 on 13 carries last time they played Carolina in a game that Carolina won 30-0. With Bijan Robinson, pretty simple, over 5 yards per carry this year. And I just think this can be an overall better game script. He's 4-point home favorites this time rather than being a 30-point loser in last matchup. And I think he gets back on track. Tajay Spears, very simple here. 3+ receptions in his last 4 games before the bye. And I do think he'll have heightened usage on top of that. Do have a game. They're both touchdown underdogs at home against Houston. I think we're going to have a game script for Tajay Spears to be used in the receiving game yet again. And then we got Quinshon Judkins higher than 6.5 receiving yards. 2 of his last 3 games, his highest route shares of the season at 30+%. And we do have a game script with their underdogs at home against Baltimore. And we saw last time they played Baltimore, he went higher than 6.5 receiving yards, only 27% of the snaps. So you put those together, $10 entry, you apply this 40% profit boost, you can get up to $84.20 on that entry. Taylor fade my picks today, obviously promo code FSC. The links are in our description. And then we will go to the wide receiver picks. I talked about these picks on the wide receiver tier list that dropped yesterday. Recap though, Igbuka higher than 60.5 receiving yards. He has done this in 5 of his 6 healthy games. He had that hamstring injury in week 6. Obviously got hobbled. He looked fully healthy after the bye week. And like I said, he has been the number 1 de facto wide receiver with Evans out of the lineup. T. Higgins higher than 11.25 fantasy points. Steelers can't guard outside wide receivers. Cincinnati number 1 in outside wide receiver usage this year. And T. Higgins literally went higher last time they played a couple of weeks ago. Very simple, very good matchup. We trust T. Higgins in this spot. Ricky Pearsall higher than 4.5 targets. He has gone 5+ targets in every single healthy game this year. And by all accounts, according to Kyle Shanahan, he should be healthy and ready to go in this game. And I do think we get to see him ascending back to the level he was prior to the injury. Finally, George Pickens has done this in 5 of 9 games this year. We do have a matchup, especially against top 10 teams, where he has done this in 3 of his 3 outings against them. Now we got the Raiders, pass funnel defense, downfield wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb taking the underneath stuff. George Pickens is a stud. But yeah, that was rough. That was rushed, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me take it off the screen real quick. Again, appreciate you guys. Whew, we were gunning at the end there. I can confidently say at least I was able to get to as many comments as I could. And if you guys have any more, I'll spend these next couple of questions. But I do have to set my own lineup. I said that's fine, by the way, Trophy. I mean, not many people did, to be honest. Realistically, we should have taken more stock into how we finished the playoffs last year, but this is by far his best receiving usage. This is by far the healthiest he's looked in years. And the Colts offense, genuinely, in terms of their offensive line, is one of the best that we've seen in a while, man. This Colts offense is a top 5 unit. And for people that were really optimistic about it, they said maybe it'd be a top 15, top 20 level offense. Nobody expected this type of offensive explosion, but definitely something that I'm willing to take on the chin. I was lower, especially on JT early in the offseason, but really came up to him at the end. Like I took him in the listener league. I did get him at value, but at the end of the offseason, I kind of viewed him more so as a mid to back end second, which I mean, obviously given the context of what he's done, obviously wasn't high enough. Rest of the season, Hendo or Judkins then. I have Hendo a couple spots higher, but they are literally 12 and 14. And I love both these guys. I just think you have to take the process of the better football team and the receiving back. What's your best bet of the day in terms of the pick'ems? Honestly, out of these pick'ems, which one is my favorite? My favorite, it's probably Ricky Pearsall, honestly. It sounds like he's fully healthy. We get the glowing remarks from Kyle Shanahan, and it does sound like they want to make him the number 1 wide receiver in the offense. Great game environment, too. That's Danny. Yes, sir. Here, let me see. Darnold, Burrow, or Purdy rest of the season. I think this is going to be a Burrow as soon as he's back on the field. So if you can get by for the next couple of weeks, I'll take Burrow. Peace there. Take care, Dylan. You sent one? Okay, here. Apologies. Let me get this in for you. I would go with Devontae Smith there, big man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I got you. Hopefully you're able to see that. I got it at 12:59. Should have came back to you. Appreciate you, Cameron. Appreciate you. And leave a like if you made it this far, of course. Helps a lot. About 200 people currently in here. So appreciate you guys. Well, actually more so on Twitter, but like 75 people in here. So but yeah, either way, appreciate you guys. Like I said, I keep saying that, but I do have to go set my lineup. So take care.